Good morning to all subscribers and casual viewers. So I'm working very slowly on the science front, even though I have tons of new ideas and new directions. Just because that I am, as I said, I have lack of energy and lethargy that is associated with people that are imprisoned, because that's what I am. On Wednesday I should have there's another hearing in the court, and I hope I will get the new, I would say, privilege, or easing of terms of the arrest, so I would be able to at least a couple of days, if not all day, I hope, be able to be outside, and this will greatly help me, because as I said many times, my main hobby besides said reading is walking, and it's like both my hobby and my preferred sport. And the fact that I can't walk, do long walks or even short walks, any walks at all, is really a very negative factor on my physical health, and also my motivation. I hope you enjoyed the videos from yesterday. I hope you enjoyed the videos. And if there is demand, I can certainly create infinite, literally infinite amount of more, because it's a huge, it's like variant, a huge bowl of with several good liters of this liquid, and we have already, and we have and every new drop is you see new stuff, so there is so much to see. But what I will do today, I try to advance in according to the agenda that I have outlined in the video yesterday morning. I would say that I am still it's incredibly important to me to, I said it several times, but I repeat it, specifically in this subject of ecosystem, biological ecosystem. It's incredibly important for me to just to get it, to receive advice. I always like to receive advice. I don't have a ego that I really like to hear other opinions, but you know very well that I do not unfortunately, in the Israeli culture in general, but specifically in the disgusting subculture of the Israeli intelligence, if you get advice, it's sort of weakness, because it means that people can exert influence over you. This is, it's so barbaric and stupid, and it leads to stupidity in monstrous scale. They've done so much to destroy this world that I don't know how they can still open their mouths. But of course, this is not the correct way to act. And you should get advice. And this is specifically something that I cannot pretend that I have knowledge. I do not. I've never studied biology. And I was always occupied both academic studies and professional life in things that are more related to computer science and mathematics, not to the life sciences. And so yeah, really, I would like to get any kind of advice with regards to what we actually see in those videos, because I don't understand what we actually see. Besides the fact, several facts that are obvious, which is that in every single drop, there is a copious amount of neurons, like the nanobots in all, in many sizes, even pretty big ones, and ones that are even, but were actually so big that I'm not sure that they were even neurons, but some people suggested that they are, but I'm not sure, because they were so big. Some of the ones were actually by far the biggest that I've seen until now. They were huge. They were so big that if they were I would say that if they were the biggest one, if they are really neurons, and I'm not certain about it. But if the biggest one that we've seen are actually in the nanobots, we should call them bots, not nanobots, because, if they are really the bots, so I would say that if we take this size, the maximum size that we've seen, and we will multiply it by about 3 or 4, or maybe just 3, they would have been visible by the naked eye. that's huge. Like, I mean, that is, that's not even a microbot. It's just a robot. I mean, if you can say, if you can watch it with the naked eye, it's a robot. But I mean, we've seen pretty big ones, like over there, and again, this I mean, this further support my theory that these creatures multiply by I mean growing, like I mean they start small and grow, and but they also clone from the big size, like I mean that, because otherwise I mean if they only like I mean spawn like fish, like and presumably like create like ton of like nanoscale like offspring, and then they grow. I don't understand how they can. I mean, so much of them could like grow to such a huge size in this barrel. Like I mean, even like in the course of a month. The only thing that the only explanation is the explanation that I've already suggested, that indeed they grow, like they eat and they grow, but they also clone, and when they clone, they do it from the big size. Like I mean, they clone, like the offspring are huge as themselves, like the big ones. And of course, another thing is that it was obvious to me that I mean this bowl is full of life. I mean, you don't need to be a genius to understand it. I mean, these are all life forms, like I mean, ton of life forms. And I mean, and another thing which was obvious to me, but I for some reason many people didn't. I understand that it was like a surprise for many people, or that many people were skeptic about it. But I don't understand why, because this was actually established so long ago, and it makes sense for so many reasons. Like, but that is that I mean that they are fighting each other, or more. It's more like that the robots are slaying the animals. They are not really fighting, because I don't think that these kind of microbes possess any like real threat to the robots. Even though I said that, I mean, my assumption is that more aggressive microbes and like small life forms would certainly possess like a threat to the robots. It's not that I mean the robotic creatures are immune to biological life form, not at all. Just I mean that the ones that we've seen are, I mean, according to my knowledge, are all like basic, like I mean, like garden variety, like literal garden variety microbes that they're just not aggressive at all. I mean, so I mean, they just multiply like crazy, but I mean they don't like, and maybe their existence. And maybe the fact that there are so many and they multiply exponentially as germs do, I mean, maybe this fact in itself could be like a danger to a host body, for example. But in itself, like they don't look like aggressive at all. So my assumption is that they don't possess any threat to the robots, even though other microbes or like microscopic life forms or life forms in general could certainly, I mean, possess threat to the robots. And the fact that I mean the robots didn't kill all of them is just because there are millions, like they multiply like crazy, and the robots also multiply, but not like quick enough. But other than that, I can't have like much insight. Like for example, people yesterday suggested that the blue material that is abundant and it was covered in one of the slides, but it's also abundant in this like aquarium, is actually that the blue material is actually it's like a protein. It's like I mean shawarma, like I mean, like chopped pieces of meat, like of microbes, dead microbes that were slain either by the robots or by other microbes, presumably, and that they are used as feeder. Like I mean, they eat them, like the robots are eating them, and this is very. I mean, I actually like this explanation because it's explained. I didn't know it. I mean, it's just I mean like an example of like how much like professional advice could be helpful at this stage, because I had no idea that it is the case, but this is actually, it makes a lot of sense, because I mean, because there is a ton of it, but it's not all over the place. Like I mean, it's like I mean it's like a layer of material that I mean, yes, that was created by some kind of process, and this is explanation of what exactly is the process that actually creates them. And also, I mean, after I've received this explanation and I rewatched like the slides, I've seen that yes, we can actually see, not in a huge, not many, but I mean certainly there are actually blue-bellied Neros. And this was actually something that was I've seen in the past, but very rarely. like the yellow-bellied neroids, like the yellow pool neroids are, I mean, I've seen great quantities in the past, and it actually was a conundrum to me, like what actually do we see? And as you remember, I had several theories that I couldn't like prove, and also, I mean, they were falsified. But the only theory that I actually said that were supported the fact that they just ate something. That's something that they ate. But we've seen in the past also a little bit of red-bellied neroids and blue-bellied neroids. Like, I mean, the normal state, like the common state is that it's just like a ring. Like, I mean, the belly is just transparent. That if there is any material in there, it's completely transparent, and perhaps there is no material, it's just a ring. But I mean, so we've seen a little bit of blue-bellied and red-bellied, but these were like so common that I've sort of that like just like curiosity. Because in the microscopic world, I mean, there are all sorts of curiosities. But yes, I mean, in those slides that were taken from the aquarium, yes, I mean, there were quite a bit of blue-bellied neroids, much more than before, even though it's still like uncommon. Like still the most common by far is the normal neroids with the just transparent belly, without belly. I mean, just a ring. So yes, I mean, it's another supportive fact to the claim that they eat this stuff. And now what I have now is actually two like aquariums, one which is full of neroids and full of life, and one which is just full of neroids. And it's not as big as the other one, but it's still big. And this is the synthetic one, the one that I prepared, like with all the symbols and all the. Actually, I thought about it like yesterday and this morning, and I have new thoughts with regards to the symbology, but I rather not. I mean, I see an issue that I feel like better that I want to be able. I mean, I feel more confident in like sharing things that I have more like evidence to show you, because everything that's related to symbology and communication, it's incredibly important, and I think about it a lot. I mean, I've said it many times. I've actually started to think about it long before I started like all this research regarding the nanobots, like, or the robots. Like, I mean, it was something that I actually deal with like for like a year and a half now, and it was presented in my blogs, and it's certainly in my paintings, in my like oil color and acrylic color paintings, certainly. But so it's something that I think about a lot, but it's something that I share my thought less about it, not because I want to hide something, just because these are very analytical subjects, and I prefer to share like things that I can like show you support by evidence, and more than things that are so analytical, even though they are important. It's very important, like how I communicate with the neroids and what the symbols mean. I mean, this is the language. This is how we can communicate. It's very important. But so I had new thoughts about it as well. And maybe I will conduct experiments that to try to like back the new theories with evidence. In any case, we have now two big aquariums, and there is a ton of things that you can do. I mean, like with ton of like new experiments that you can do. I mean, with those two. Like, for example, you can take like the mixture from the electrolysis chamber, and just a bit of it, and put like the blue material inside it, and see if they feed on it. Like, I mean, to support it, I mean, the claim that it's their feeder. Like, I mean, presumably if you put like a lot of the blue stuff, and then you put the neroids, so after some time you could take a look, and if you will see like many like blue-bellied neroids, you understand, okay, they eat this thing. This is a very simple experiment that you can do just to back the claim that this is actually their feeder. Maybe I'll do it today, because it should be extremely easy to actually to conduct this experiment. But the most important experiment is experiments are the ones that I've outlined yesterday, and I want to I should try to like find the energy and motivation to actually conduct this experiment with the electrolysis. And I want to explain, because I didn't explain like the rationale behind it, so maybe I will like put a few words on it now. So first of all, I mean, in this bowl, like this aquarium, I actually have exactly what I wanted, which is a huge amount of of Neros that were created like in, I would say, a natural process, but over a time, like over like more than a month, as opposed to the also another like big amount that I have, not that big, but also quite big amount that were created much quicker, but in a different, a totally different like synthetic process. Even though there might have been like relation between those two, and this is something that I want to prove, that I mean they actually share the energy. And so first of all, I mean, I want to have a way like to filter, like not all the, I don't want to filter all the aquarium. I don't want to kill all life in this aquarium, because for me, I mean, it's a way to produce new, I mean, it's an evidence, I mean, it's like it's a proven way to create more Neros, and I want to create more Neros. Like, I mean, they feed on this stuff and they multiply, so yeah, I want to keep the aquarium, but I want to be able to show how to clean, like to filter some of it. So of course I can use filters, like, I mean, I don't have any money and no means at all, but presumably I could have used, like if I had money, I could have bought like filters that filter life, or I could have used alcohol and iodine that I have to do it. But this is, I mean, the problem is that, I mean, iodine, alcohol, hydrogen peroxide will dilute the mixture, and I don't want to dilute it. I want to keep it to be it like to have mixture that is Nero dense, with Neros. This is first. And although, I mean, if I filter it in, like, if I had like other ways to filter it, I don't know, like if there will be like very how they will affect the Neros. I mean, the Neros are quite sturdy and robust. They're not easily die. They are not killed easily. But I mean, but yeah, so still the best way to do, I mean, from my perspective, to do it is to kill those germs with electricity. Because, I mean, my assumption is that the Neros themselves could kill them much more efficiently with the help of electricity. So this would be like the natural way. Like, I mean, not for all the aquarium, to take like just a bit of a sample and to put like to charge it with significant energy using the electrolysis method that I already like I have like experience with, and presumably this will either kill the germ. I mean, I still, I mean, I didn't. Either no one like answered me, or maybe I didn't understand the answer, and it's quite a difficult question of like how like electrolysis should affect like the microbes in such a mixture. It's like an interesting question, but I mean, so maybe this will kill the microbes. My assumption is that it will kill them, but not all of them immediately. But I don't know. I mean, I'm glad to get advice on that as well. But anyway, my assumption is that the Neros will be energized, and they will use this energy to kill the germs. And so this will be wonderful, because it will give them energy, it will kill the germs, and presumably I will eventually I will have like not all the aquarium, but just, I mean, a small container with a liquid that is like that is devoid of life, because we don't really need the life. I mean, the microbes, we just need the microbes are just, I mean, like a vehicle for more Neros, and like a good amount of Neros that I will be able to presumably use with other experiments. Now, some people ask, I mean, why was it so important to you to show your fantastic agenda of ion energy transfer? Because I've said that first I want to create experiment where the electrolysis chamber contains only the mixture with the Neros, like the one from the electrolysis chamber that you are well aware of from the last couple of days. And on top of it, I mean, a sample of the microbe, the aquarium water with both Neros and microbes, to see if I can actually prove that energy transfer is actually possible, by showing you like how I mean the Neros from the aquarium sample are energized without actually like exposure to electrolysis, and that they actually use the energy to kill, I mean, those germs like in a frenzy manner. So some people ask, I mean, why? I mean, okay, it's, I mean, you already have like amazing like stuff, like the water in itself are quite amazing. You can just like try electrolysis on the water. This will give you a ton of new information, like just in itself. This is actually my second experiment that I've outlined yesterday. Why do you think that at this stage where there are so many open questions and so many amazing things that could be achieved, why do you want to show this like fantastic agenda of energy transfer, which is like totally outlandish and and it's like a huge leap? So what's the deal here? So I will explain. Yeah, maybe I will fail to show you energy transfer, and if I fail, it doesn't mean that it's impossible. It doesn't mean that I couldn't have done it in this scenario. I will still, if I fail, I still believe that it's somehow possible, but I don't know how. But I would say that this kind of achievement is very important, not only because it will show you that energy transfer is possible in ways that are unknown to physics today, because everything that the NEOs do is unknown to physics. Like, I don't need to prove you that your tenets of physics are based on error, or at least lacking. This is already evident by the many things that you've already seen. We don't need to prove anything further than that. I don't think that we are not in a stage where I try to prove you, aliens exist and they have like access to physics that are far superior to anything that you know, and everything that you know about physics is completely like wrong. No, we have already passed the stage long ago. What I want to do now is not to prove you that you are wrong, but to try to see how to create stuff. Like, I want to create new stuff. Like, I want to be like, even just for my own like entertainment, to see how I can create new stuff. So showing, or demonstrating how it's possible to energize the NEOs without the need to actually conduct electrolysis on the NEOs that are being energized is incredibly important, because it will open the door for a lot of new options. First of all, it will solve me electrolysis is a very cumbersome process, and it got like so many like byproducts and things that you need to think about, like heat and steam and erosion. You've seen it, and so much it's quickly, and you've seen it yourself with a series of experiments that I've done in recording, that so quickly you have issue with the magnetism, but it's then too conductive and it's starting to burn, and there is like the issue of superconductors, it's a whole mess of new physics and engineering, and it's complicated, especially in home, in the conditions that I have that are so basic. And if you separate like the container where you need to think about all those constraints with another container that actually you want to do something in it. Like right now, what I want to do is to kill germs, but presumably this could also be applied to doing other stuff, like creating things. And the other containers where you want to create things or to kill germs or to produce something is already, you have also sort of constraint in the other containers as well. Constraint that derive from the nature of the thing that you want to produce. For example, if you want to kill life, then you need to think how electrolysis will actually affect this process. Probably for the best in this specific scenario, but presumably for other things, electrolysis could be very a hindering factor. And if you want to create, something, there are things that you want to create that liquid is completely not like the any type of liquid medium is destructive for the creation. If you want to create something that is dissolved in water, like pharmaceutical or anything that dissolves in water, a liquid medium is a problem. But without liquid, electrolysis cannot be conducted. You need some kind of liquid, even if it's very thick liquid. So there are all sorts of constraints, and I would also add that even just, if you want to kill germs, let's say that you don't want to create diamond rings or pharmaceutical or all sorts of things that that comes with harsh constraints with regards to the container where the creation takes place. Even if you just want to kill germs, it will be incredibly beneficial to show that energy transfer between NEOs is possible. This is actually for the purpose of curing diseases, or curing, I would say, infected bodies. Because let's say that, I mean, we have like an infected body, not of a human, because who on earth would want to heal human? I mean, humans are scumbags. But let's say that we have like a pet dog, and I mean, we have nothing against dogs, right? So, and the dog is like, it was this disease, like it's got a disease, and you want like, and like you want to like, maybe there is like, I mean, his hand is infected with some kind of like a very like a serious like is contaminated with something, and so you want to maybe just the hand or maybe the whole body. You want let's say for purpose of for simplicity, even though it probably you want to clean the body, but maybe just for the purpose of simplicity, you want to like, I mean, to kill the germs in the hand of the, like in the paw of the dog. So yes, you can use antibiotics, but I mean, it doesn't work it doesn't always work, as you know very well. So you can like inject presumably a very dense mixture of the neurons into the dog's paw. But now, if this mixture will be too dense, like with too many neurons, it will just stain its body, and I mean, this can create all sort of like, I mean, and then, I mean, you will see the thing that you see now with the Israelis, that I mean, that's about many people in Israel actually did it to themselves. Many dogs in Israel, like human dogs, have done it in Israel, and they have all sort of like ailments now, and they cannot, it will kill them very soon, like if they are not already dead, and that's a fact. Most like, I mean, sentient creatures would consider it a positive like outcome, but anyway, it's something that we need to think about when we deal with the situation of like the hypothetical situation of the diseased dog, like the real dog, the pet dog that want to cure. So maybe you can inject just a small amount of neurons to the paw of the dog, but then you can I mean, you can just take like a portable electrolysis chamber with many neurons inside and like stick it to the dog's paw, but without it being like, I mean, without transfer of neurons, and presumably the neurons in the dog's paw will be energized and will be able to, even a small amount, will be able to kill all the germs or the contaminated like agents that are in the dog's paw. And like when you're done, you just separate the electrolysis chamber, and now the dogs, like in the body of the dog, you have only a small amount of neurons, but you don't have the germs. So presumably this will pose a much less health risk by the fact that the dogs will have neurons in its body. So this is just an example of the many things that you can do. Like, I mean, if such energy transfer will be proven to be possible, and so that's why, I mean, it's like, for me, it's like, I mean, it's again, maybe it will fail. But I mean, probably, I mean, like, if I mean, a good gamble would be, like, a good bet would be that I will not be able to prove it. But even if I want, I mean, I will not be like, so maybe I'll try to prove it like using different ways in the future, or maybe with more understanding of the symbology because it's, I mean, I need to understand communication, like symbology is incredibly important, and so in the future. But still, I mean, it's very good, like, I mean, it's incredibly like a good opportunity to test this hypothesis. That's why I'm shoving this agenda, even though we already have the agenda of energy transfer, even though we already have like so many like new, like other things that could be learned just from the new, like from the newly source of like new thing that we can create experiment like with and that's the aquarium. That's, I mean, it can be subject to so many new experiments. Okay.